Hi, I'm Deanna Oppenheimer, and recently I had an opportunity to moderate a great panel on the issue of trust in banking. It was a series of 4 CEOs talking about their ideas on trust. Now, this is a very challenging topic in our industry, as is evidenced by some of the statistics. About 18% of Americans in the U.S. have a great deal of confidence in their bank. That is historically a low figure. It started back in the 1970s at about 60%, dipped down to 30% in the 90s, came back up in 2005 to about 53%. So what we see is trust kind of goes on a roller coaster in banking, but it's a very challenging time right now. So all of us want to work in an industry that's trusted. All of us have a vested interest in restoring trust. So what are some of the ideas that came out that were particularly noteworthy? Well, I picked up on 3. The first one was employee engagement. The second one was credible communications. And the third, customer centricity in its truest sense. So employee engagement, everybody agreed. Most important thing you need to do. But then why don't more employees feel engaged? Well, part of the reason is it's great to be out during the good times. It's really easy to talk to employees when everything is growing and going very well. But what are we all doing through the toughest times? Through times of downsizing, of uncertainty. That's the time where it really matters, where you really must get out. And that leads me into the second point, which is credible communications. It's really a challenge, isn't it? Because you say all the right things, but there still are people who are pretty cynical in hearing it. So how does that work? It means a certain vulnerability in the communication is important. That means as many times as they can be delivered in person makes a big difference. The other point that one of the panelists said is that during the toughest times of the crisis, they made a point to call each and every customer and just said, "We're here to listen." So often communications is not only about talking, it's about the listening becomes almost more important to regain trust and credibility. And the third point is customer-centric. Now that is something that is really tough to do day in and day out. Why? Because there's trade-offs. There's trade-offs between profitability, there's trade-offs between simplicity, there's trade-offs between ease. So how do you keep the customer at the heart of what you do? Well, one of the examples is maybe you have a customer champion. They sit up just like a risk director or a marketing director right on your top table. And what do? They're always there as the voice of the customer. They're always putting the customer agenda out on the table. Just like the profit agenda is there, just like the product agenda is there, just like the marketing agenda, the customer agenda is always with you. So those were 3 things that came from this conference that really resonated with me. But what I really learned from this experience is the dialogue's got to keep continuing on. It is not going to be 3 simple things that get trust restored in banking or any industry for that matter. It's going to be a lot of different things executed in a million different ways over a period of time. And I'm excited to be part of the dialogue and part of that solution. So to that end, I'd really appreciate your thoughts. I'd love to hear what ideas you have, what additional thinking you have, so as I go forward and am involved in this discussion, as hopefully many of you will be, I'll be able to learn along the way. So thanks a lot and look forward to hearing your thoughts soon.